Good evening. Thank you for joining my Zija Zoom. I'm going to tell you right up front what to expect from me tonight. You're going to hear frequently asked questions about Zija's new Entune CBD squares, and you're going to hear stories. So you're going to get some questions answered and hear how this product is helping so many people. So welcome to my Zija Zoom. Guys, I'm going to start with a couple stories because this is the best part of Zija's new product, of this the way that we deliver the CBD and how that's helping people. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but for now, listen to some of these stories. Mark says, I don't have much pain thanks to daily use of XM Plus and Supermix. I did have some tightness in my shoulders and upper back from doing some heavy lifting the previous day. After applying the square, my back felt more loose and the little pain I had was gone within minutes. The most noticeable thing was that I felt an overall feeling of calmness and well-being. I also noticed I had better focus and a deep sleep like I hadn't had for a long time. My mother has some major back issues, which is very noticeable visually. Within 5 minutes, her pain was gone and she was doing a happy dance. She also noticed a solid night's sleep. All right, those are some awesome stories. Here's just a couple more. I love this one from Tom. It's just a list. It's not even sentences. He just said, openness to conversation, deeper sleep, minor pain gone, connective. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. Clarity of thought, and cobwebs gone. He had a lot going on up here, and that is great news. And Kelly says, I always have bad upper and lower back muscle pain from working out and lifting my disabled teenager all the time. Within 30 to 60 minutes of wearing the CBD patch, my muscles eased, and I'm actually able to sleep at night without tossing and turning to find a comfortable position. Hashtag wear the square. These are just 2, 3, 4 stories of many, many stories. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the Entune square, the patch, and mine is like kind of located in a weird spot on my body, so I can't show it to you. But you guys, I will be showing you what they look like in just a minute here. For now, I want you to get a couple of your questions answered, okay? The biggest question we get about our Entune squares is, do they have THC in them? And if so, how much? And so I want to stress the fact that CBD products are legal in the United States as long as they contain less than 0.3% THC. Okay, I have this right here on Zija's frequently asked questions sheet. So anything I tell you tonight is going to come straight from the company, because I'm not an expert, and I'm a representative or a distributor for Zija, but I am not employed by Zija. So I'm just going to tell you what they would tell you. And so since they did all the homework and research, we're going to go with what they say. So our product has less than 0.3% THC, and it is from hemp. It's hemp-derived CBD oil, and it conforms to all federal regulations. So I want people to understand that. But with that said, everyone's like, there's THC in it? Oh my gosh, you know? And so then there's that. And so I want to just stress the fact that the amount of THC in these patches is absolutely not psychoactive. It does not produce a euphoric feeling or a high. It is literally trace amounts of THC that conform with federal regulations. So this is the official line. It is an insufficient level of THC to produce a high. So with that said, what's the difference between hemp oil, CBD, and marijuana? All right, you guys ready for this? Hemp oil, CBD, and marijuana all come from the cannabis plant family. However, each one is different from the other. They're not one and the same. Hemp oil or hemp seed oil is a vegetable oil that is obtained by cold pressing the seeds from the plant. CBD comes from the brother plants of cannabis that have higher CBD content and low THC content. So the way to make this simple is the hemp plant is high in CBD, low in THC. The marijuana plant is high in THC but low in CBD. So you can see why our source is the hemp plant. It's rich in CBD. All right, so no, it will not make you high. No, it is not psychoactive. No, it will not produce feelings of euphoria. For some of you who were hoping it would, my apologies. For the rest of us, we're like, shoo, okay, we can keep our right minds. And so how is the CBD used in Entune, the CBD we use, how is it extracted? One form is extracted with carbon dioxide, and the other form is extracted with food-grade alcohol. Okay, so those are the two ways we extract the CBD. Our CBD is extracted from industrial hemp plants. It is natural. It is not synthetic. That's important for any of you who know that natural versus synthetic, that natural is better. Where does Zija source its CBD? In the US and Europe. We actually have two sources, so US and Europe. Will CBD interact with medications? Here is the official line. Consult your healthcare professional if you have concerns about CBD interacting with prescribed medications. And the last question I'm going to touch on today, kind of a, an obvious and common one. Will this CBD affect your appetite? Especially for us ladies who are like, we don't need to be more hungry. We're trying to lose weight up in here. So is this going to give us the munchies? Are we going to need to go out and buy some Doritos? And the answer is no, that it would actually take 25 times the amount of CBD in one of our squares to even impact your appetite or increase your appetite at all. So those are some frequently asked questions. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you some more stories. Are you ready for this? I slept like a baby last night, and I tweaked this wrist in particular a few months ago doing burpees. Push-ups, etc. in a hardcore workout. My wrists are so teeny that they're a bit fragile sometimes, and certain movements have been irritating them. I haven't felt any sort of pain or annoying feeling yet since she's worn the patches. My testimony may not be as awesome as some other ones, but I don't have much pain, stress, or anxiety. I know I should knock on wood. I did feel more calm and relaxed with everything going on in my head and my to-do list. I definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. That is awesome. Rita says, my husband fell off a roof several years ago and ruptured his knee. He's had emergency surgery, and now scar tissue has formed. The pain in his knees is constant because he lays tile for a living. He was pain-free after wearing the patch. Woohoo! That is awesome. Pain-free is good. Mary Ann Brown says, I suffer from very intense physical symptoms of anxiety that typically are present at all times. When I'm wearing the patch, they are hardly noticeable and or don't last for long. That is a huge deal for me. I've tried oral CBD without great results. I'm sold on the square. And one more. I had knee replacement surgery about a year ago. My first full night's sleep since then. Unbelievable. Awesome. That was Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, and thank you, Mary, for those awesome stories. We're so excited to hear about people's quality of life going up and pain and anxiety and inflammation and issues going down. So now I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about what else is in these squares. So our Entune squares, as you know, have CBD oil in them, but that's not all. If you look on this little handy dandy little thingamajiggy that came with our patches, there's pictures here of all of the ingredients in the square. And this is important because when you're taking CBD oil like orally, it's very typically just CBD oil. But in our patches, they really took advantage of the fact that this is a transdermal release, meaning through the skin. And they brought in some other essential oils that increase the efficacy of the CBD oil. So in other words, they kind of souped it up with some essential oils that can also be transdermally or transmitted through our skin. And so inside the CBD square is not just hemp oil, but also a water-soluble hemp powder. Why does that matter? Well, because now you have two sources of CBD in the square. One that is liquid and the other that is a powder. The powder is much more fast acting, which is why most people say they feel different within 5 minutes of putting a square on their body. So this fast acting powder is known for its swift ability to soothe muscles and aid overall well-being. So that's cool. So that's one of the powders in the patch. Then there's something called CoQ10. CoQ10 works within the cells to support energy production. So this goes along with the CBD to help support energy production. That's awesome. And then black pepper extract, that's another important essential oil. This improves absorption of the other nutrients. So this aids in the absorption of the other items in the patch. And then there's white willow bark extract, which supports a normal inflammatory response. So in other words, this also helps your body with a healthy inflammatory or immune response. And so it kind of is, like I said, soups up the effects of the CBD. And then lastly is the cat's claw extract, which also supports balanced immune responses. So again, it partners with the CBD and the white willow bark to bring even more effectiveness in that immune response. Your immune system, if you think about it, it doesn't just fight sickness and try to promote health in your body. It's really responsible for your inflammatory response. So if your body's highly inflamed, you need to assist your immune system in dealing with that inflammation. Inflammation that's chronic and constant is damaging to your body. And so something like this that you could be wearing all the time, you can be wearing it back here, you can wear it here, you can wear it anywhere on your back, on your stomach, on your sides, on your inner thigh. You can put it on your knees if your knees hurt, on your feet if your feet hurt. You can put it on your wrist if your hands hurt. All kinds of places where you can put it. But how cool to know that while you're wearing it, it's going to work on that inflammation and pain in your body. So I want to make sure you guys knew that it's not just CBD. And here's something totally cool that people don't understand totally just yet, because this is so new. You can actually make this even more supercharged. Instead of supersizing your fries, you can supersize your CBD square just by adding a drop of other essential oils to the square before you put it on your skin. Listen to this. This is just ideas for you guys. Whatever your biggest symptom is, like if you're struggling with pain, you could add a drop of copaiba oil or black pepper to the adhesive side, and that would bring further support with the pain that you're experiencing. 1 drop of Ameo Pure Tranquility or Calming Breeze added to the adhesive side will enhance the feelings of calm. 1 drop of True Lavender or Vetiver will promote more restful sleep. 1 drop of TheraEase, or applying it around, TheraEase actually comes in a roller ball. If you apply that around the square, after application to enhance the soothing effects, it will enhance the soothing effects of minor aches and pains. And then lastly, you can actually take 5 to 7 drops of the Ameo Copaiba oil in a veggie cap after applying the square, and that's going to help with several physiological systems for improved well-being. So all these ideas, guys, to take an awesome thing and then even take it to a new level. So I want to make sure you know all these options are out there, that there are alternatives that have, by the way, absolutely no side effect. Not a single one. You can do all of this without a single side effect. And by the way, I just want to welcome anybody who's watching. I know that there are some attendees in the gallery. They're just not on screen. So if you've jumped on since I started, welcome. And I hope you didn't miss all that cool stuff I just said about adding those other essential oils. Now I'm going to get to a couple more stories. Are you guys ready? All right. Lynn says this: I slept well last night. I was able to do hand sewing for the first time in 3 years. I could push the needle through 5 layers of felt. pull it through and pull it tight on the other side. Now, I'm no seamstress, but I've just, done buttons. Man, that is a pain in the butt, and that can hurt. And I can imagine if your hands are not feeling good, you don't want to touch a needle and thread. So good for Lynn. Dee shares this. I have horrible neck, shoulder, and arm pain that cause me to have headaches regularly. Within 30 minutes to an hour of putting on the square, the pain was gone. Neck, shoulder, and arm pain, gone. I'm so excited for Dee. Nobody likes to live with pain. I've been there, done that. All right, now we've got a guy here who has a condition I can't even pronounce. It's migrating superficial thrombophlebitis. That's the best I can do. And it's hereditary. And so he says, painful, especially as it moves around in my legs and feet. I've tried fish oil, baby aspirin, then just ibuprofen and heat, or sometimes cold. Now I'm on Plavix, which is supposed to prevent more, but doesn't stop the existing clots. I've been dealing with severe pain and swelling for 3 years now. That's a long time. Second day on the patch on my inner right thigh. No pain. I am amazed and grateful. 2 days with no pain. Praying it continues. Oh, that's awesome. So happy for him. And here's a testimonial about a 10-year-old boy who suffers from PTSD, anxiety, OCD, ADD, and ADHD. And this is just incredible. It says, so right out of the gate, we noticed he had an appetite. He rarely eats through the day, but typically eats dinner. This kid ate like all day, every day. He used the Entune CBD patch 3 days total. Day 1, back on his meds, nothing again. Day 2 of the patch, my husband and 6 other boys went to Craig's Cruisers. My son was more worried about anxiety, his fear of being in crowds and being watched. I'm so incredibly proud to say he did it. Not one issue, outburst, or tantrum. We felt like the child came back in him for those 3 days. He was giddy, playful, and full of life. He also noticed and felt the differences and was very excited about it. So, isn't it awesome to think of a child feeling relief when they don't even have a clue how to deal? I mean, we don't have a clue how to deal with half our stuff. How can kids know how to deal with theirs? This is a great one. Good morning, my dear. To tell you I slept 6 hours straight, which hasn't happened in a while. My pain is absolutely better, and even my sinuses are unclogged and making me breathe normal. I feel less anxious and for some reason nice and relaxed. I feel young again, LOL. Well, I guess, yeah, feeling relaxed and calm does kind of make you feel less stressed, which, young people typically are less stressed than old people. So, all right, the last one I'm going to read to you is awesome too. This is from Tracy, who suffers from RA, rheumatoid arthritis. She says, thank you. I'm amazed at the differences these patches are making. My right arm has been pretty useless to me for over a year. I've been in constant pain because of my shoulder. My rheumatologist, sorry, I said that wrong. These are some big medical words here, ladies and gentlemen, was ready to double my medications, and I asked her to wait because I knew the patches were on their way. This month, I have been able to cook, lift heavy pots, wash my hair, get dressed with almost no pain. And 2 nights ago, I was able to raise both arms high in worship for hours. Tracy was delighted to have some normalcy back in her life, and she's also back to coaching baseball again, which is something she has not been able to do or has not done or been able to enjoy. And she's back at it now, and her life is different and better because of our CBD squares. Hey, speaking of that, let me grab those squares and show them to you real quick. So here's what they look like. They come in the sleeve, 6 to a sleeve. There's 5 of these in a box. And when I first saw a photo of them online, I thought they were like thick and kind of cumbersome. They're super thin. They're smaller than they appear, you know, on screen and on photographs. And they're just very, very easy. You just put one on, and then 24 hours later, you put another one on. And it doesn't matter what time of day you put it on. And some people who are, you know, just smaller people or children, they cut it in half and they wear half. So there's all kinds of ways that you can make the most of the CBD square. I'm going to wrap up, you guys, just with my own personal story. I had an accident. As most of you know, I was hit by a car in 2014, and I've been on a mission to be in the best health of my life, and I have made great strides. But when I got these in the mail, I actually didn't discover the boxes in my garage till like 10 o'clock one night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to put these on right now. And I put one on at 10 o'clock and, you know, went to bed. And I woke up the next morning. It was stunning to me, first of all, how deep I slept. And I just put it on. But the thing that was really stunning was that I got up out of bed as soon as I woke up, and I realized, because I felt not one ache, not one pain, that I had been waking up achy in my hip area. My pelvis was crushed and broken in my accident, and it was reconstructed. And so that's the area on my body that gets achy and sore when I sleep, is my hips. And I woke up that day, nothing. And I was like, I didn't even realize that I was living with this achiness every day, and it wouldn't go away till I got up and moved around. And so my ache and pain in my hip was gone from the first morning. The next thing I noticed was during the accident, I landed on my left side on the pavement, and so I landed kind of you know, like a baby lays on their side like that. And I didn't injure my shoulder at that time, but it definitely weakened it. And about 2 years after my accident, I was taking off a shirt, and you know how you pull a shirt over your head, and I just pulled as hard as I could, and I felt something, you know, something went wrong in the shoulder. It hurt so bad that when I would pull up to my mailbox and I'd reach to get my mail, I'd be like, oh, like just to get my mail. I'd be like, oh, and sometimes I'd have to like hold my arm up to get my mail. And it would hit so hard at certain times, or if I was steering the steering wheel of the car. Well, I'm telling you, the only thing that really helped, I had some dry needling done. I did some physical therapy on it. Push-ups and planks and all that stuff, just strengthening these muscles really did help, but it didn't take it away. Hello, CBD squares. These puppies have given me like full range of motion with my left shoulder. I reach in for my mail, and now that wincing, you know, sharp stabbing pain is a memory. And I just am so grateful for a life that is ache and pain free. The other day I picked up a super heavy box of books. I mean, like insanely heavy. And I even told myself, don't lift with your back, lift with your legs. Well, I went ahead and lifted with my back, and I wrenched it. I wrenched it good. And I wrenched it bad enough that I told my husband, I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. You know, heads up, I really hurt myself. And I put one of these on my lower back. I woke up fine. I had no pain the next day, no limitations, no aches when I moved. I could lift, I could whatever. Everything I did with my back was normal. I had one evening of a sore back, and I am telling you what, any other time in my life, I would have been miserable for days. And so I'm so grateful for what CBD has done for me, for what CBD has done for all these testimonials I just shared with you, comments from Facebook, text messages I've received, all kinds of people being helped. How about you? How can CBD help you? Listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you at the end of this video to reach out to whoever showed it to you. Reach out to your Zija distributor, ask for a sample of CBD, and sample at least one of these, at least 6 days. Ask for one of these with 6 patches on it, and say, hey, give me one of those sheets with 6 of those puppies on it, and see what this can do for you, and your body and your sleep, anxiety, pain, immune response, and quality of life. All right, you guys, it has been awesome. Listen, healthy shouldn't be hard. That's our motto at Zija, and that is exactly what these things are all about. These things make healthy not so hard. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Have an amazing night. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.